Here is exactly how I found out my stepdad was subscribed to my spicy website. A lot of people are still asking questions as to how I knew that it was him, like do I know everyone's identity and all that sort of stuff. No, the website can be completely anonymous, but he had chosen to make a very specific username. And that same username created a TikTok account, looked at my TikTok profile back when I could still see who was viewing my profile. Under that, it said from your contacts. So I just figured this username is somebody that I know. It's not an automatically generated username. It has to be the same person. I then wrote down every single contact in my phone. There was 120 numbers, and I crossed out the people who it said invite to TikTok or if they already had an established TikTok account. I was left with 6 names, and one of them was my stepdad, and I just went with my gut.
Oh, no. So that TikToker and also apparently OnlyFans creator there is talking about how her stepdad, she discovered her stepdad is one of her loyal followers, not just a random loyal follower that gazes every once in a while, but he's active. Oh my God, is he active? A little more context before she continues her story because it gets much worse. She's known her stepdad since she was 11 years old, and he subscribed to her OnlyFans for 2 months. So let's let her continue to talk about how she discovered that and also what she did about it.
Here is the custom content that my stepdad was requesting on my naughty site. Like I said in a previous video, we messaged every single day on the website and he would make requests almost every single day. One of them was to see the underwear that I was wearing every day. At the time I was working still, so I was out of the house 5 days a week, and he would ask for pictures in the bathroom or the change rooms of wherever I was. He also requested that when I was filming solo content at home that I would not do it in the bathroom or in the shower. He always wanted it to be on my bed or on the floor of my bedroom, which, mind you, he had access to this room every single day. He also was helping out do the washing at home with said underwear. I actually have here a little notebook from the time, and it says the name of the username, change room / public stuff that he was wanting.
Quite active, tossing money around for these things in the same house that he lives in. Very specific requests. So as I mentioned, she did confront him. There's more.
Here is what my stepdad said to me when I called him out for being subscribed to my naughty website. When I figured out that it was him and I messaged the account saying, I know who this is, his first response on the website was, who, ? Babe, you don't know. And I then responded and I said, you need to tell her before my sister and I do. Within a couple of minutes of me sending that message on the website, I got a text message to my phone from my stepdad saying, hey Tay, can we talk? I said, no, we cannot talk. You need to tell her right now, meaning my mum. He then proceeded to beg me to speak to him before I went to my mum. He had no idea I was actually already on the phone to my mum as these texts were coming through. My mum was happy with me speaking to him. I kept her on the line on another phone and she listened to the whole thing, and he pretty much said that he subscribed for my welfare, and I said $2,000 for my welfare. He then said it obviously turned into something that it should.
Turned to something that it shouldn't have been somehow, Burbank. There's wild stories out there, and I hope this isn't very common, even though it just might be.
For her welfare, just give her an allowance. I mean, I've heard of, you have to do chores for your allowance, but not that kind of chores. This is gross. That's a bad joke. This is gross, Jayar. No, I bet it's common, right? Because isn't that such a popular category on the other, spicy websites like stepdad situations? It's unfortunate that, we live in a world where that psychology is possible. Rest in peace, Sigmund Freud. You would have loved OnlyFans.
All over the place. So a specific request, giving all this kinds of money, then having to figure out his way to wiggle his way out of it. Didn't really work out in his favor though. But one other thing though, as I point out, I was wondering how common this type of thing just might be. And also, by the way, this is her telling of the story. This stepdad here that she's talking about hasn't been adjudicated in court, so there's no confirmation for all this. But I feel like this is something that's probably somewhat normal as far as people who would go after and follow their stepdaughter. One person that commented about it, we're talking about it, but people were saying there's similar stories involved. Graphic 1. It's unclear if Ty's story is genuine, as I pointed out, but however, this isn't the first time an OnlyFans creator has made such an allegation. In January last year, an OnlyFans creator and TikTok user claimed that her father, who had an alleged history of sexual abuse, had also subscribed to her account and made specific requests. You'll hear a lot of people dog out the folks who create content for sites like OnlyFans and talk how disgusting they are and how could you degrade yourself like this, and you know what kind of attention you're gonna get for that, and if someone says something disgusting or nasty or absolutely under the level to you about this whole thing, that you brought this on yourself. When are we gonna talk about the folks who are doing that stuff? And in some of those cases, these fathers and stepfathers that are doing this type of stuff. We talk about people who have daddy issues and are traumatized and grow up with these kinds of different issues with how to interact in relationships. And then you know who gets the negative side of that whole thing when they say, "Oh, you got daddy issues." It's that kid, not the daddy, who shows up and says, "Hey, father of this person who has daddy issues, what were you thinking?" It's how could you?
Everyone's so mad about the OnlyFans, JR, and it's like, how long has this industry of sex work been in place where instead of someone in the comfort of their own home with the means of production right in their own hands, where they control the revenue, they control what's posting, they control what they're doing in their posts, why is that more outrageous than when someone else is controlling, oftentimes the woman who is doing it, right? Now suddenly it's a problem that she has control over what she puts out and the money goes directly to her and not to someone else who owns the production company or is the pimp or what have you. Like, now we're mad about it. I think that's really telling about where the anger is coming from for a lot of these guys.
It's weird. It's weird, man. It always goes back to control. It's almost like when they talk about, women's access to abortion. Oh, it's about the children, at least until it's then their mistress that's pregnant, and then they're like, "Oh, abortion? All over it, bro." It's only for them and not for anyone else. It's controlling women's bodies. But then the nice kicker is then being able to politically win off of that same nonsense message that they actually don't believe in. If you guys notice the theme of this show, a bunch of liars that don't believe in the things that they say that they believe in, specifically politically, so they can have more power and money and control over you. It only works if you listen.
Liar, liar, eat the mushy peas.
I'm gonna have to go and get some mushy peas and see if it's as devastating as I say it is.